Hello my friends and viewers. I had almost driven my CM11 Green to the top. I have all essential models now and needle shots too. And I also heard about that Gaijin are going to give us drones. However, I guess attack drones will be something of a nuke like the light edition, and instead of giving you the chance to end the game in favor of your team, will give you the chance to kill those two last campers that had left on the map. Because what I don't really know whether you would be capable of choosing loadout, because American Reaper drone has a variety of payloads, but I guess you will gonna have from 700 to 1000 points to make them less accessible and less annoying. So attack drones are going to be a rare thing in battles. Rather, we are going to see a lot of small drones, which are usable not just by USSR, China and USA, but by all nations who have light tanks, including infantry fighting vehicles on the rank 6 and 7. It's quite interesting because at first, well, I said right from the beginning that when they had added the reconnaissance plane mechanic for cruisers and battleships, they were testing the mechanic for controlling the drones from the ground, but I expected that there would be, since Gaijin is pretty greedy, I expected that there would be some kind of grinding tree with trucks which can load these drones, and only those trucks would be capable of launching those drones. Instead, it seems like any light tank on rank 6 and 7 will be capable of calling in a drone, and you can then use after calling a drone with an assigned button, which by default will be V. I guess they are going to replace the reconnaissance, the binoculars reconnaissance on ranks on top ranks with the drone reconnaissance, because the same button is by default used for reconnaissance using binoculars in the game. Anyway, you can assign a button of your choice if you don't like the default one, and you can launch the drone and then switch from the drone to your tank and back, which is quite the same mechanic we see in the Navy on cruisers and battleships when you launch on large ships, when you launch reconnaissance planes in game. And I guess the main reason this mechanic with the light drones are going to be the most common drones seen on top ranks in the game. It's quite obvious, and because you would need less points to launch them, and you could launch them like you launch reconnaissance, well, at your request, and control at your request from your tank. I guess they are going to be the most common ones, and this move was made to since the drones are going to be a researchable model somewhere on the bottom of the modifications tree, which will require a lot of grinding hell. or half health when you get your fire extinguisher, repair kit, and needle shots. And then I guess this move is being made the drones to bring up the popularity of premium light tanks like TAM-2IP in the German 3, for example, because they are pretty unpopular. People usually buy this tank because they don't have money to buy something more expensive, or they have saved some amount of gold over time, or when they get super discount on the, since you can get after battle, if you can get a random discount on a random premium Gold Eagle vehicle from the battle crate. Now TAM-2IP and similar tanks would have more purpose because they will be the ones who will scout the battlefield with drones, which will be more effective, way more effective, and way less dangerous than trying to scout with binoculars. Which will lead to those tanks getting more assists from reconnaissance. Too bad I got only 2 assists. And I spent my backup on CM11. Maybe that was a mistake, maybe not. Well, I finished my talk about drones. Meanwhile, another music video for you is being prepared by my video editor, which is quite slow because it was released in 2008 and it can only use up to 2 cores of your CPU. So compilation of video and can get quite slow on this thing. It's Pinnacle Studio 12 Ultimate. I use it because, well, it's I grew attached to this program since 2014. By then it wasn't obsolete, but now it's clearly obsolete because, well, basically the only video format it can compilate videos into, which is still in widespread use, is MPEG 4, also known as MP4, and all others like AVI, 3GP have basically died out. Also, I still recall them being AVI being the main video format. Hell, one of my first smartphones, Sony Xperia Sola, recorded videos in AVI. If I recall correctly. Oh no, I guess it recorded in MP4. Back then but my first two, well, not my, but my family's first and only two photo cameras could record videos of pretty shitty quality. Well, what did you expect from a cheap camera? Well, budget, low end segment. I mean, they weren't cheap copies of something. They both were of Japanese origin and quite well built. And the Canon camera is still or the 4 megapixel Canon photo camera we used is still alive today. The problem is its photos are way worse than those of, for example, my iPhone or my mom's Motorola smartphone. So it's no point to use it. It also eats up both it and the second camera, which I cannot recall which brand it was. They were working on the batteries, you know, those small alkaline board batteries, the 2A AA batteries, and they were eating them like crazy. I mean, we bought the rechargeable nickel metal hydride or fluoride, nickel metal hydride batteries, which unfortunately had a memory effect. However, despite us using them properly and recharging them only when fully uncharged, they well, because NIMH batteries are shit, they died very quickly, and eventually we switched to using regular 2A batteries, alkaline, the one-use ones, and in which could power the camera for a bit longer, especially the good ones like Duracell. But they still, the camera still ate those batteries like crazy. We always, when we photoed each other, we always brought a phone, several sets of batteries with yourself, because they were discharging so fast. Oh, freaking helicopter. You bastard. Thank you, mother. Oh no. So I guess, well, if TAM2 AP is really going to be capable of launching drones, I will buy it from my first stipend if I will receive one, because I have doubts about that. I know that M2AP is a shitty tank, however, well, what choice I have? Well, there is a cheaper option, however. Since I have spaded Puma, I can just buy the drone module on it from my first stipend, which will be a better option, I guess. Oh no, fuck. I thought the freaking enemy tank is dead. Oh, I see you, bastard. Oh, too bad I wasn't the one who finished you off. Oof. I'm sorry for being toxic emotions. Oh shit. I wish I could kill a fighter with a radio shell. It would be quite interesting. I mean the proximity fuse shell. The radio shell is from post Soviet countries player slang. Radio fugas, literally the radio high explosive, which is not really true, because proximity fuse shells can have a variety of different mechanisms of action. One being, for example, the first variation of Tunguska employed a laser proximity shell for its surface-to-air missiles, which consisted of 8 small lasers being mounted at the head of each missile, and when some of these lasers were pointing in various directions, but I guess these were mainly ahead and to the left, and ahead to the right, and to the right, ahead and up, or head and down, or something like that. And when the laser, one of the lasers was crossed by the, for example, enemy plane on then missile blew up. But then after the fall of Soviet Union, the back then quasi-democratic Russia, now fascist Russia, had switched to the easier to manufacture radio-based proximity fuse, like the one used by the American, like the ones used by the Americans on the naval anti-air guns at the end of the World War II. Let's play a third battle. Oh, thermals time. Yes, I will probably buy the model for Puma, drone model for Puma. I hope since it's a pretty modern vehicle, it will get one. However, I must also state that for some people, it may be an argument which will convince them to buy TAM2 IP instead, for example, Leopard A1A1 with Rheinmetall 120 cannon, which is shitty and blows up from being punched hard enough with a fist. And while TAM2EP at least has a large motor room, which and her motor can act as a sort of ad hoc armor. Not ammo, armor. And since I know many cases when murders use their engine to tank things, I guess TAM2 IPs can do the same and even better, because if I recall correctly, the TAM has a more powerful and use larger engine. Talking during the game reduces butt hurt, but also reduces your effectiveness, unfortunately. And for TAM 2 AP, which is not really a good tank, I guess having a drone would be quite awesome, because it now will have an important function which will be fulfilled by this class of tanks only. Oh, that motherfucker. Oh, guy. I guess you are not going to fly any further. Oh, the enemy tank is coming. We're gonna get it. Because if we don't get him, he will get us. Yes. Are you still alive, my friend? Oh, I guess he's still alive, and he even killed someone. Let's be more attention. Or maybe it was him who was killed. Oh yes!
Attention to the map!
Got him. Thank you.
Attention to the map!
Freaking Centaura.
Attention to the designated grid zone!
TAM 2 EIP is already pretty popular, I guess, because people do sometimes get large discounts on decent vehicles. However, I myself only received something like that only once, when I got 75% discount on Italian Pershing, and that's all. I guess if I get a 90% discount on TAM 2 IP, I am gonna buy it, because, well, why not? Yeah, I killed planes with my needle shot. Oh, plane killed me. One more game, probably. Yes, I will refrain from comments. Maybe I will make a few games from now on, and probably play some music here or not. I don't know. Or maybe continue talking. Fortunately, if MR 301 gets a drone, it would be pretty overpowered. Let's agree on this.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
Thank you very much.
The victory is near.